In the immortal words of Howard Stern, Baba Booey, everybody, we are back for ARC Round 7 here at Silverstone. Looks like a nice sunny day. We have, I believe, 12 active drivers, 14, something like that, and a few reserves helping fill out the grid for a total of 17. Tonight I am joined by Van Beets as my co-commentator and our supple pit lane reporter, Kia, who has installed a very cool feature that we will be using during qualifying today and hopefully able to use during some battles in the race. We have a live stream from Hood that we will be able to put on our stream. We might do something where it can be like a random RNG thing for which driver gets to stream, you know, of those available, or it can be a reward. I don't know how the mods or how Kia wants to do it, but as of now, that is what we are able to do. I will get the sound working. Sorry about that. And yeah, so that's that.
Yes. And we have Chipsy going out first. Chipsy, the mod, who's stepping down after this season.
Oh, so it's going to be entirely in the hands of Rosefest in action.
Yep, and Righteous, I think.
Oh, okay, good. Well, that'll be something. You know, Chipsy, everybody knows him. Mr. Selfish has a child, and now all of a sudden the world revolves around him. Like, get over yourself, guy. I could probably, I'm sure I could be a dad. Anyways, yeah, so Chipsy is out. Mr. Hood is out. Why don't we take this opportunity to try our new POV with a little bit of key binding. Alright, now it's going to be a second here until it loads in. And then you should be seeing what we were just seeing. You got to give it time. We'll get this later on. This will be, I've been informed this will be picture-in-picture, but for now, it is just a black screen. There we go. Look at that.
Very interesting.
Should I be muting Hood's audio, or does he know that his audio will be on screen?
You know what? I can go tell him. And by the way, the telemetry is up.
All right.
That's right.
So we can see Mr. Hood now in the quali. There he is.
Mr. Hood plans on dropping a few slurs, so he would like you to mute him.
Okay. Presumably racial ones as well.
Yeah, all sorts of ethnic ones.
Perfect. Right in the sweet spot. Alright, well, then we will try to get the audio as close as possible by riding on board with him. In here, the audio is going to be a little bit ahead, but that's okay. So coming into turn 1, Van, do you want to take us through Mr. Hood's lap?
Yeah, he's coming up into
Village.
turn 3. Oh! And there's a Ferrari who stops. Okay, went for the ghost. Okay.
Yeah.
That scared me.
Yeah.
1 second there. He activates DRS, come into turn 5. Yeah. Break just after 50-meter board. He stays in 5th. Goes third here. He's probably going to double shift or no.
Cosmic now disqualified from the session. That was the Ferrari we saw in front of Mr. Hood there.
Ooh, yeah. Wonder what happened there.
See here,
Coming into cops.
Bit, yeah.
He is flat and he spins, and that's what happens when.
And that's why we have it muted.
Yep. Who knows what the Hood was saying at the time there. And that's his lap scrubbed. I think Chipsy he finished his lap 27.8.
With Atmosphere almost a second off the pace, but not quite. Able to keep it within 7/10 of Mr. Chunksy. Chip Mitchells, as he's known by his close friends. Well, we're going to go back to the normal stream here, and let's get some more stuff going.
Van, you have a fan in chat asking you to play Football Manager?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah,
Well,
who did you play that game against?
Last night I played against Tier 1 driver Decora, and I beat him.
Yo.
I'm just better, you know? Better manager, better thinker.
Let's see, who can we ride on board with? Let's go to an unfamiliar face, Babushka. We haven't seen him here in a little while.
Yeah.
So he is coming down the hangar straight now, and let's see what he can do with his lap as Leslie sits the fastest lap of the race by nearly 4/10 off Chipsy. Babushka now into whatever that corner is. Can't remember the name of it. I also don't remember the name of these ones, but he's going into him, innit?
This is the final turn right here.
Yeah, I just don't remember the name. Right, across the line. Ghost P3 with a 128.3, 2/10 in front of Atmosphere in P4. I'm sure he's going to be happy with that after a little bit of a long break from at least being on T2.
ET plays, making his debut. Right behind Babu now. I think Nismo, however you want to say it.
It's definitely Nismo R, 100%, I feel like. But yeah, we can watch his lap here as he is going to head on to the Wellington Straight. So
Which one's the Hamilton one? The first one, right? The start finish.
Yeah,
probably?
start finish. Yeah.
That makes
So
sense.
Van, you raced here last night. Why don't you walk us through the strategy, maybe where you want to qualify, and what they can look forward to in the race?
Well, last night we had 11 members or drivers, so a couple of us started on the mediums, but we should be seeing the soft runners go to around lap 12 before they decide to pit, and then the medium runners will go to around lap 18 or 16, however they want to do it. Being on the softs here, definitely they can last a little bit longer than usual. Some people say it's advantage to be on the softs as long as possible. I saw a driver go 18 laps in a different league on the softs, so anything is possible in this track. It's a very short race too, so you really got to make your move as fast as possible, otherwise you're going to be stuck in that little DRS train, which can be very annoying.
Right. Also, quickly, just to add Mr. Hood able to get a lap on. That will be his second lap on those tires, but he is able to go P3 until Atmosphere just pipped him by about 0.05 of a second. This is a very impressive qualifying performance from Atmosphere. I don't think we're used to seeing him. He's not consistently in the top 10, so to see him up in the top 3 right now, very impressive.
He also is on old tires though, so I wonder if I think he can go faster then. Like, that has to be a sign, right? That he plans on going faster. Because it definitely didn't have low fuel then, so that's interesting to see. I'd be happy to see Atmosphere get a podium, perhaps.
You'd love to see it, yeah.
Is Nile? Nope. Never mind. Who's starting on? Nobody.
Chipsy is about to, so we will ride on board with Chipsy as he tries to reclaim his provisional pole position here in Silverstone with 9 minutes and 50 seconds left in qualifying. So into the final few corners. I always use that line as a braking because it used to be that the corner line would tell you to brake actually early there. You could brake a bit later. Anyways, to start his lap now. Still no DRS here because Mr. Erickson decided in 2018 he'd throw his car into a wall, Mr. Selfish, so no DRS there to help out the esports drivers. Now, this is a really interesting turn for braking because you actually extend the braking zone by turning, whereas usually that locks your tires. As the profile of this corner, if you can get it turned early enough, you can actually extend that braking zone and brake a lot later than if you were to brake straight and turn the car in. And it's much more efficient. It's a little bit was tougher to do in the older games when you couldn't just set your brake bias at 50. Although actually, wait, after the patch you can't do that in this game anymore, can you?
I'm not sure.
Oh wait, no, now you can. It was the other way around. Anyways, through here you can see that he cuts just a little bit there. That's going to be the esports line. Now where his teammate lost it on his first attempt, he's going to go through cops and he keeps it not... Did he downshift? No, I don't think he did. So he kept it just about flat in 7th gear, not upshifting to 8th. There he does. Take all that curb on the left, take all that curb on the right. You got to be careful with this curb. He takes a bit of it, but it looks like just the perfect amount. Hold as tight as you want on the right, and then run out wide left. Open up the DRS, down the hanger straight now. And this is looking like a decent lap for him.
It is.
This is such a hard turn to brake without line. I know Chipsy has line on, but Mr. Hood does not. That's the only reason I say that. Now coming into the final couple of turns, braking maybe a bit early there. As you can see, he actually turned in before the corner there, having just not quite enough speed. Holds tight on that, and he's going to go fastest with a 126.9.
And the 26s, I think only Decor had that last night.
Oh, wow.
Gypsy showing tier 1 pace and tier 2.
Almost like he was
Small
a
things.
former Tier 2 driver, or Tier 1 driver. Drew Games back in 8th. The championship leader, I believe, correct?
I think so. I'll double check though.
Alright, actually we are going to flip back to the POV now to see if Mr. Hood can do a little bit better on this qualifying lap here. Oh, it was there for a second then cut out. Hold on. We'll see if it comes back to us. We are just trying this out for posterity, so there we are. Oh, whoops, fat fingered that. There we are. Alright, so Mr. Hood on his lap now. What can he do into these first couple of turns? You see he's got a car in front of him there. The McLaren of Sadist, who is in P16 as of currently, giving him a nice slipstream, but he is going to hold him up if he doesn't get out of the way. Sadist is also on a lap, though, so he's not obliged to get out of the way from our rules. However, he's probably going to want to because Hood is going to be so close to him. If he starts overtaking him, his lap's going to be over anyways. I know I've found myself in this precarious situation many times, but as of now, the slipstream is helping him. Maybe he can get a move done on the hanger straight. We'll see. In the cops now, that dirty air is really going to hamper him, but he doesn't spin it. You can see him there, keeping it pretty much flat, if not entirely flat, in 8th gear, though not using 7th like his teammate. Into cops, that dirty air is going to be into Maggots and Beckett's, excuse me. Now into Chapel, here we go. Can he get the power down? Oh, and you can see he wanted it, and I'm not sure if that was all the dirty air or just a little bit too greedy on the throttle, but not able to make the move. And this is really going to hamper him.
Right now.
Yeah, I mean, he has made up a lot of ground on Sadist. The problem is Sadist isn't going at his pace, so now that he's on the back of him, he's kind of stuck going Sadist's pace through these final few corners, which is going to be significantly slower than his. As you can see, even in the dirty air there, look at how much faster he is pushing him through these corners. Able to go back up to P3, but I bet he's got about 8 or 9 tenths back in that lap. I mean, you could just see how much time. He easily lost 5
Oh my god, and someone... I think that's Tykesman. Yes.
Yeah.
That's a good view.
And we will head back to the normal stream here.
I wish we had audio for that lap.
Yeah. For real. I'm sure that would have been quite interesting. Tykesman recovering from that, whatever you want to call it, spin or dying to death. But now, Atmosphere, about to finish, actually, his flying lap on brand new tires, but he is invalidated.
Yeah.
I'm not quite sure why you don't just go into the pits at that point. He's going to put a second lap on these tires, it looks like. So here we go. Let's ride on board with Atmosphere. Van, you want to take us through this lap?
Let's see how he enters turn 2 here. Upshifts to 3rd. He was in 4th for a quick second, goes to 1st. Coming into T5. Oh, that's a pretty late braking marker, and he misses the apex, and he's very tight now into this turn, and that's gonna mess a little bit with his line. So on the power,
understeering, just a little bit wide.
Coming in the cops now, can he do it flat, or will he lift? He does it flat. Oh, a little bit lift. That's good. Goes to 7th for a quick moment there.
Yeah, I think after he lifted, he realized he was just a bit too high being in 8th gear there. Oh,
yeah.
Completely missed the apex of Chapel. So if I were him, I would pit now and just go out on the final set. And I think that's what he's going to do. You can see him weaving there on the straight. Everyone else, for the most part, in the pits. Pop Dog finishing his lap, so nobody on a fresh lap at the moment. And he stays out. Yes, sir.
Can you turn telemetry on? In the spectator menu?
Oh. Yeah.
Pop Dog is not going to go... Oh, he does go faster, but not enough to gain a position. Nile in the pits. I know he's exiting the pits now. So we'll see what he can do.
Oh. Well, he can show off his drifting moves there early on. Oh, right. Instead of having to guess if people are going flat and cops, we can just see it using the telemetry. Okay. Nice. What this is about. Although I don't like the look of this one. It's kind of... it's just right in the middle. It looks a little... I don't know if I
you
like
could
it.
move it.
Well, you could shut the hell... This is a family-friendly stream.
Seems like a bit of a slip up there.
Ah, yes. Hold on. Let me use my push-to-talk quickly. Well, in his outlap, he didn't go flat, so I think we need to get Potato Boat in the chat for this guy over here. You know the Irish swarming over in their potato boats, stealing all the jobs. But here we go. I don't know. Okay, the Alpha Tauri looks really dirty. Do you see that on your screen as well?
I don't know why.
It's because Niall's a dirty guy. He likes it dirty.
I don't know why it's funny.
Hold on, quickly gonna check. Atmosphere is still out. The man has pace on a track and is possibly throwing it away here. Anyways, Niall about to cross the line to start nice and tight through that final corner. Does not open up the DRS because you can't, but it always feels like someplace you should. Through turn 1, doesn't quite cut it as much as you can. Now, something I'm curious about because we've watched 3 to 4 laps now is, yes, see, he does that break in a straight line and then turn, and that is just a bit slower. I'm sure it is really difficult on controller, which, of course, Niall is playing on, which is probably why that happens. But that is a suboptimal line there. Now powering down the straight with DRS. He does have a car in front of him, but hopefully that won't cause him any issues. I'm not sure who it is. It looks like a McLaren again. Possibly Sadist once more. But we'll see. Sadist is on his outlap, so if it is Sadist, both McLarens are on an outlap, so they will be obliged to get out of the way if he gets close enough. But we'll see if he does. Niall opting not to cut there on the Wellington, and is not, or the old pit straight, sorry, through cops. Perfectly flat in 8th gear. What a stud. Now, he's probably going to be very distracted by this McLaren, as I certainly would be. Coming into cops, you really want it to be as clear as possible, and it is never a fun sight. Look at how much grip he had there. Wow. Just put the gas down, and it helped him. This McLaren really should get out of the way already, but it looks like he's going to start slowing down on the apex, which is just not what you love to see if you're Niall. Again, you know, the dirty air is one thing, but that distraction of having to follow him for an entire lap is another, and it is Sadist. And invalidates.
There's Exia right there. Oh my god, Exia really closing in. Oh, and Sadist crashes in front of Niall.
Well, can't help but feel like he kind of deserved that. Be courteous in your especially your outlaps.
Atmosphere retired in pits. He's gonna start on 3-lap old softs. I wonder.
Yeah, he did 3 laps on each of his set of softs instead of coming in. I don't understand that. But Chipsy, Leslie, and Mr. Hood all out on laps. Let's see.
Chipsy's up on his time, or down by 8/10.
Okay, well, they are both in pretty close proximity of one another, but Mr. Hood is going to cross the line first. He is... Only a car separates him, yeah, so let's see what he can do. He does need a lot of time, as we previously... And he invalidated.
Yeah.
Well, Chipsy goes into the pits. Mr. Leslie, what do you have for us? Fully lifts off. I don't think he's attempting on this lap. At least I hope not. Yeah. All right, well, it looks like a pole position. Oh, wow.
Juan beats out Hood.
Where did that Quan come from? Yeah,
Niall, is he going to do a lap? Nope, he's gone. I think that's it for us. Brad's going in. We only have Exia left. Exia 4/10 down. Going into the final turn. That's going to put him maybe 10? Or no, 11. Unless he just finds a buttload of time here. And he does not.
All right, so that is going to be the grid for round 7 here in Silverstone, England, Britain, United Kingdom, in Apollo Racing Club. Chipsy from Leslie, Juan, Mr. Hood, Babushka, Atmosphere, Radical, IE to J-Games, Pop Dog, Eric, Exia, Sadist, Tykesman, Niall, if I'm not mistaken, Nismo R, and Cosmic after his early DSQ for parking in a dangerous location.
Yep, his game crashed, he said, so...
You can't park there, sir.
We don't even know if he'll be in the race yet.
Well, hopefully we don't have to restart the lobby.
Hopefully not.
That would just be such a bummer because I have places to be and men to do.
I have people to manage.
People, yeah, football players to manage. Is that like Aaron Rodgers? That wasn't funny. Anyways, it is raining, Van. What did I say? I said, and I quote, get ready to get wet.
This makes
because it's going to rain.
Beer's thing much more sense.
I would say it makes more sense. It still doesn't make sense. It certainly doesn't make any dollars. That's for sure. All right. Well, this is going to be exciting. Mr. Pitlane Reporter, Kia, would you mind going and asking what the forecast looks like for the entirety of the race, or does it pop up on telemetry?
It does pop up on telemetry because I am a genius. For
Score
30
and
minutes,
7 years ago.
For 30 minutes, we are going to have storm weather. Actually,
are they on full wets?
Yeah.
Are.
This is storm weather for 10 minutes, and then light rain for another 15. It's going to clear up just at the end. So in about 30 minutes, it'll stop raining.
Well, I'm wet because of the rain. I'm also wet for different reasons. This is going to be very exciting.
Last time it was wet in Silverstone. Leslie won, I believe. That race.
Sorry, I have even more news. Apparently, Niles set a banger of a lap.
Sorry.
Oh yeah,
Here we had a spinning Nismo, I believe.
Yes.
Sorry. Go ahead. Yep.
Niall apparently set a full-time lap that was not counted by the race director.
We did watch him on stream completely cut a curb and get invalidated, so I think the invalidation...
He said he checked the race director and did not get an invalidation.
It showed up red.
It showed up red,
so.
yeah, and he really cut the corner.
Yeah, that's...
So, that's definitely on the game, but certainly, you hate to see it, but what can you do?
At least we know the lobby's bugged, so that's nice.
Well, that's...
Oh, yeah. Is Cosmic coming back, or is he back? I think he is, right?
Yeah, he doesn't have an X, yeah.
He was disqualified in quali, so that's why he couldn't rejoin.
Yeah.
That's good. Hopefully that's the extent to the bugs.
That's naive wishful thinking.
So how many deaths at Cops?
More like how many corpses at Corpse?
Do you think that they're gonna get to Cops not under safety car?
Possibly.
You know what? All right, hold on. Turn number safety car prediction. Here we go.
All right.
Assuming it's lap 1, I'm going turn 5, the second braking zone.
Same. Turn 5.
Let's preface it not when the safety car is called out, where the incident takes place, because if the incident takes place at turn 3, it might not come out till they're at turn 5.
There is now a Twitch poll that you can vote on whether there will be a safety car lap 1.
All right. Well, the first two are on their way under AI control because we are not competent enough to select our grid slots, and I say that with a bit of a sarcastic tone, but I fully believe it to be true.
Actually, it's because the pit lane is right super there, and they don't want anyone trolling by going into the pits, Codemasters, because they don't have any idea what happens if you go in there. So.
No, I actually do.
Do you?
Jeff will literally say, "What do you think you're doing, mate?"
There are plenty of tracks where the pit lane is a lot earlier. Yeah.
Damn.
All right. Well, here we go. The final car is approaching the grid, so Chipsy is going to lead us off from pole position here for round 6 of the next 26 laps, most of which appear to be wet. The lights are on.
And they're off.
And the game is frozen for me. There we go. It's lights out, and away we go. Actually, in time, Leslie not getting a great start there. Mr. Hood down the inside. Yeah. No. Wow, they didn't even make it off the line. Into turn 1, Leslie leads from Chipsy, from Hood, from Babushka up to P4. Around the outside here of Mr. Hood. Down the inside he goes into this corner. Is he able to make it stick? Both braking super early, and it looks like Babushka is not going to have that position just yet. They're still fighting wheel to wheel. Around the outside, Babushka's going to be onto the grass. He's going to lose quite a few positions now, as Atmosphere in P6 is going to try for a move down the inside of both of them. On the straight, here we go. No safety car yet deployed. Exia losing a position off the start. Down the Wellington straight. There we go. And into the first braking zone. Everyone keeping it pretty clean. Pop Dog possibly looking for a move down the inside of IET play. Sadist Not much movement at the back besides for that major incident. We saw Rad and Atmosphere. Rad getting past his teammate there as we go into cops now. Looks like Babu might even be going... Oh, had a thought about a move on Quan, but then thought better of it. Everybody can watch how they just slide there and understeer. Games now looking to make a move on Atmosphere. They're going to go wheel to wheel. Oh, okay, he's going to give him the position. Hood and Shipsy fighting teammates. I think Shipsy let Mr. Hood through. Not a spot that you'd overtake your teammate through cops and Chapel, that is.
Yep. And Leslie already 2 seconds ahead of Mr. Hood and Chip.
Games looking to make that move on Atmosphere now into Stowe. He's on the inside. Who's going to break later? Atmosphere breaks very late and is able to keep it on the track, so good for him. He's going to have that 7th position for now. Game's getting a much better exit, though. Possibly looking down the inside. He does send it down the inside here as Babu goes off the track there, but able to come back and spins. Babu has spun.
Oh. 1 lap in.
Oh,
He's
boy.
going to fall back. Nile pits early. Possibly for a new wing.
Gypsy still in pursuit of his teammate Exia and Atmosphere. Atmosphere losing lots of positions off the start here. He has his overtake engaged while trying to exit out of the slow corners.
Oh my god, Sadist with a big dive into...
Oh, and some more contact, yeah.
Cosmic looking to take advantage, but can't find it.
Yeah, not able to make that move just yet. Up the field a little bit. We have some close gaps with Exia Games. We have some close gaps everywhere, as you usually see at the start of a wet race. But no DRS train, so I'd be curious how that affects some people's strategies, although I assume the wet is more of the issue rather than the DRS. Exia not getting a great launch out of cops, and Atmosphere with a better one. Now much closer than he was before as they go through Maggots and Beckett's here. Taking it extra conservative, whereas Exia is throwing in the car just a little bit more out of the final corner. That's where it really matters, and Exia with a much more consistent line is probably going to be able to stay ahead now. Atmosphere under pressure from IET. We'll see what he can do using his overtake, but Atmosphere actually is getting quite a good launch there and is able to it's going to be safe for now. We can watch Rad now. Oh, sorry.
They're going side by side, and
Good cut from
Nismore still
Nismore,
keeps
yeah.
the position.
Nismore then getting into a defensive position as Mr. Hood sits the fastest lap of the race. Why don't we ride on board with Mr. Hood here as he tries to overtake for the lead?
Yeah, he caught right back up to Leslie. That's pretty impressive.
Usually the spectator cam doesn't quite do justice just how bad the conditions are. Hopefully we can get that from Mr. Hood's POV. I apologize for the black screen, but he is about to make this move stick, so I'm going to switch back to the broadcast because that's not loading, and now he is about to, there we go, down the inside. Not quite able to make it stick as Leslie is defending for all of his might there, just able to hold on to that position from the racing line, braking just a bit later than Mr. Hood. Now let's see who gets the better launch onto the old pit straight. It looks like Mr. Hood, if he can keep it together, but not really an opportune place for a move into cops here. Let's see what he does. He's still using his overtake. It looks like he wants it, but probably knows better than to go for it. Let's try to get the driver POV again. There we are. Wow. Okay, it is very delayed right now, but that's okay. You can see just how much harder it is to see from Mr. Hood's POV, which is now frozen. So back to the broadcast here. Here we go. Oh. The great Murray Walker said it's one thing to catch, it's another thing to pass. Martin Brundle has repeated that for the last 2 weeks, but I think it certainly applies here as Mr. Hood able to make that gap, and you can see he just has a lot more pace in certain corners, but Leslie able to put his car where he needs to and just get those better exits than Mr. Hood, especially without the helping hand of DRS.
IET plays and Pop Dog have been battling this whole lap, and it's still going on.
Mr. Hood possibly looking for a move on the lead, not quite. We'll hop back here to see Pop Dog and IET. Pop Dog getting a very poor corner of turn 1. IET looking to capitalize, but not quite able to get anything done. Now, down the Wellington Straight, we have Mr. Hood 7/10 off Leslie as we head onto the... Yeah, we have a yellow flag somewhere. That's going to be for, I think, Babu. Yeah.
Spun.
recovering from
And
that spin there.
last turn.
Here comes Mr. Hood using his energy again. He is at just around the same, 5 or 6% lower than Leslie, but remember they are braking for cops now. So that does open up the possibility to be quite a bit braver through there. Mr. Hood carrying a lot more speed through maggots. About the same through Beckett's, but this is the one that really matters. Turns the car in a little bit late here, but is still able to get the power down where he wants to. Almost loses it there. A good save from him there, as you could just see him activate that overtake as the power band was kicking in, and it almost Yahtzeed him, but that's okay. Sadis picking up a 3-second penalty for track limits. This is currently the closest battle on track, but not by much.
Yeah, there's just little groups forming around the grid. Oh, and actually, this board is really late. That allowed Sadis to get the move done. Oh, Hood, and he spins. He's out. He's off track now. He's going to lose quite a bit of positions. He's lost traction. Oh, and he still can't keep it. He has to be careful. Drops down to 6, though. And that puts a 3-second gap between Gypsy and Leslie. Hot Dog and ET Place still very close to each other. ET Place has not been able to get past them yet. Exia looking for Hood, but Hood is just way too quick for him. And Hood will be hunting Jageems. Juan Saria is now looking to possibly battle Gypsy soon. Oh, ET Plays. Is he going on the inside? He's not. He gets close around the 3rd sector, but
Let's ride on board with Mr. Hood here now, if he can make an overtake on Jageems.
yeah.
Down that second straight here. A lot faster through turn 1. Really important to nail this braking zone and the acceleration here if you're going to make an overtake. Looks like he's got the braking down, locks up a little bit, but still able to get the car turned in. Look at how much time he recovered like that. Keeping it in second gear is a bit risky, but he's going to do it. Probably going to a little bit of wheel spin, but gets a nice early shift. Another early shift. Has to back out of the turn there. Just correcting his cars as the back end wanted to overtake the front of it. Using his overtake, still not able to get close enough to make a move on this occasion, but look at that. IET Plays also very close down this Wellington straight, but not able to make the move just yet.
Yeah, he's been very close to Pop Dog, and then just kind of loses it around these turns here, and the foals are gone. Nice.
Yeah.
Well, Mr. Hood is on the back of Jageems, though.
Through cops, they're much braver through cops. Might even be able to be in a striking position for Maggots, and he is. Is he going to go for this move? Is Jageems going to back out? Jageems lets him through there. Clean
and
racing.
Also, look at the weather. It's kind of cleared up a bit.
Yeah, a little bit. The clouds are getting a little bit brighter.
It's less wet as well. I wonder if we'll see some pit changes as Exia goes on the grass now.
IET and Pop Dog super close. I know we can't see the interval, but just a few car lengths separating those two. Looks like the intervals are setting as they're going to cross the line here, hopefully.
Yeah. And 2 people are pitting. This is interesting. They don't
might
have
be going
damage.
for the inters.
Yeah, I think that's the plan.
Let's watch Jageems' pit stop here.
I believe we have the settings to approximate, right? So that means the weather could drastically change.
Yeah, he's
during
going on the
race.
inters.
Yep, and I wonder if this is how big an advantage this will be for these drivers. We'll have to see. Because it still
Well,
looks pretty wet.
Mr. Hood was able to get past James on track. We'll see when it comes pit stop time if James is able to get back in front. That would be a sign that those intermediates are much faster. Let's ride on board with James here coming out of the pits and just see what his wheel spin looks like. Of course, it's not going to be optimal that first lap, but it's more of a question if you can control it, because usually the crossover point doesn't happen right at the beginning or an end of your lap, so having that middle ground is what's important. It looks like he's able to keep the car for the most part under control. A bit sluggish, but probably just taking it a bit easy. It looks like the grip is there. As you can see, if riding a board, then that rain is about half as hard as it was at the beginning. Confident enough to use overtake. I think this is the tire to go, and let's... Okay, the intervals are gone. But, yeah, Juan in pursuit of Chipsy here, getting nice and close. Let's see if the leader's pit here, coming down the hanger straight now and into Stowe. We will know very soon if Leslie's going to pit. And possibly this is a chance for Chipsy to make up a little bit of ground. Looks like Leslie's going to stay out. Leslie stays out.
Let's see, is Chipsy going to go in? Chipsy is also staying out, and so is Juan, so is Rad. Mr. Hood, what's his decision going to be?
I think if
He's
you're Hood, you gotta... Okay. I'm going to say you got to go for it. One thing, I think... well, let's see. Let's check on James' progress. Yeah, he is a bit sluggish. So maybe a lap too early.
Let's see.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
We have a couple pits, so Status and ET plays.
Yeah, I was going to say, if you are ET or Juan just stuck in that 6 to 7/10 gap and not having the DRS, just pit. Because if you've got the pace, you'll make your way back onto the back of them anyways. So we'll watch IET's pit stop here. No wing change, as you said, most of them not having damage, just trying the inters. I wonder if Jeff has said anything.
Wabu coming into pits, picks
And
up the
Van,
speed.
look at that. Rad is all over the back of Juan as well. We've got a bit of a train forming behind Chipsy now that Hood is going to be able to catch up to.
Yeah. Now spinning as well. So I definitely think we'll see everyone else pit now. It looks like it could be the time, maybe one at lap, but I doubt it. It might even go to dries in a bit too, probably.
I think the hardest thing to feel out is wets to inters. Wets to dry was always really easy for me. I know some people struggle with that, as do some people struggle with any of the other things, just randomly, but wets to dry, you start getting into a rhythm, and Chipsy pits, Leslie pits, Juan pits, everybody's going to pit here. Mr. Hood, does Mr. Hood pit or does he stay out a lap? I think he's got to pit, and he does.
Yeah.
But just making that because you get really confident in those... Oh, that's going to hurt. Mr. Hood speeding in the pit lane. But you get really confident on those wet tires, and Atmosphere staying out, maybe trying to make up a few positions that way.
Yeah, so is Pop Dog here. And actually, Pop Dog, oh my god, he's completely missing the turn here. Cosmic into the pits, and I wonder if James can get past anyone here.
Juan.
He was fighting Hood, right?
Oh, yeah. Atmosphere is going to lead this race by... oh my gosh. Sorry, it's really confusing. Pop Dog picks up a penalty. Leslie is still in the lead from Chipsy, from Juan, from Red, so no position changes there. What I am going to be curious about is James now was
Picks
behind...
up the fastest lap.
Yeah,
he's going to get past
He's
Hood?
definitely going to get past him.
Wow.
Wow.
Cosmic is retired, and that's in the pits. Okay. Damn it.
Well, that was quite a call from James to get a few positions that way.
Yeah, Mr. Hood fell down 2 positions from that.
But yeah, just you start getting into a rhythm with those wet tires, and you start building your confidence, and it can be hard to think that you're going to be faster on the new tires because you're just in such a rhythm. But usually that's why you got to rely on old Jeff to tell you, or you just got to take a chance for it. And I can't imagine that Jeff told James 2 laps earlier than he told everyone else. So I think that was just a really bold strategy call, and it definitely paid off. So props to him for playing the conditions like that.
Chipsy on the back of Leslie, though. I think this is when Chipsy's going to start using more of his advantage. Leslie's pretty good on the wets, but Chipsy's really good once it starts drying up here, and he's on the back.
Look at that. Leslie pushing to the outside. Not much room for Chipsy. They're playing it a little bit cautious in the slipstream. Toes back out to the inside now. Going to send it under braking, I'm sure. He's had enough of sticking behind him, and Leslie turns in on him. Leslie, oh no.
And that's Chipsy not getting away with it, but it's lucky it could have been worse.
Chipsy able to keep it together there, and I have to
Yeah.
say I think that is quite a bit on Leslie there, turning in the wet there. I feel like you got to leave a bit more space, but it's not easy to race in the wet. This is their first lap on those tires, so these things happen. It definitely wasn't intentional. Rad, though, look at how close he is to Juan coming into turn 1 there. He
Yeah.
closed that second gap under the pit stop phase. Just able to stay ahead of games now, really trying to get past Chipsy, who I have to assume is a bit demoralized after something like that happens. Battle for the lead, and now you find yourself with 3 more cars to overtake, and it was hard enough to just overtake one. As looks like Nismo, oh no, it's going to be Pop Dog. No, who's the yellow flag for? There's just a moving yellow flag right now.
Eric.
Ah. Okay, well, back to the up front fight here with Juan now.
Oh my god, Exia, he's sliding and he almost slid into the path of Mr. Hood. Mr. Hood kind of goes off track there. Wow. It's gonna be interesting though.
Niall sending the fastest lap of the race.
Chipsy. Oh my god, this is such a close battle right now for everyone.
It looks like Leslie really not able to keep the pace on those intermediates, at least not the pace that he had on those wets. As look at this, Leslie getting the power down, but not quite as good as Juan now with the slipstream and overtake. Is Juan going to be able to do it? Leslie with a cheeky move there to put his overtake on much faster, actually saved him down the straight, and has allowed Rad and Chipsy to catch up to the both of them.
Mr. Hood gets past Exia with ease. But they're going to go side by side.
Back up front now. Very slow turn for Leslie there, and a train has absolutely formed behind him.
Yep.
Atmosphere picked up a 5-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane, and then a 3-second penalty for corner cutting.
Chipsy picking up fastest lap. He's on a mission to get back into the fight for the win.
Wanted to look down the inside of Rad there, I think, but Rad with a little bit of a late movement because Rad wasn't sure where Juan was going, and that almost probably compromised Chipsy just a little bit there, but we'll see what he's able to do now in this next lap. Obviously, as you mentioned, setting the fastest lap of the race, so he has got pace on these guys at the moment.
G Games also entering the fight here, and that's ET Plays spinning turn 1. And he's all good. No damage. It's a 5-way fight for the win right now. One mistake can push you far back, and that's actually Juan looking like he made a mistake. Never mind.
And no less, it's about to be a 6-way fight as Mr. Hood is catching up very quickly.
Yep. Yellow flag, sector 1. It's Pop Dog. He's good.
Rad looking like he's got a lot more control of that car, at least not understeering quite as much as Juan is. This is going to be interesting once DRS opens up and we see that true dry pace showing. Of course, Chipsy had the edge in qualifying when it came to dry pace. And look at that, Hood making up 8/10 through that third sector, or through that second sector, excuse me. Leslie setting the fastest lap of the race, 1.1 seconds out in front, 1.2. Mr. Hood now setting the fastest lap of the race. Now, Van, if you're one of these drivers, how important is it to make this move now, with not knowing the weather, or do you just take your chance, be patient, and know you have the pace on the dries, and just try to wait for that phase of the race?
I think you wait. Because, I mean, unless you're drastically quicker, then it's going to be very hard to get the move done. You just have to wait for mistakes from other drivers, and it'll happen. It's wets. It's very hard to be consistent. But Leslie is starting to build that gap again, so Chipsy will want to get past Brad and Juan as fast as possible. Even Mr. Hood wants to join in on the action as well. But it's going to be very hard for Chipsy to really get past Brad right now until there's just one little mistake.
Red very much in pursuit now, even looks to the inside possibly for turn 1. Has that inside line which allows him to wash out a bit wider, but just with that dirty air you are not able to keep that same speed, and the downforce so crucial in that corner, especially in the wet when you're understeering like that. You want as much weight on those front wheels as possible. So not able to get the move there, but if you can get a better exit through here, you can see Rad, at least this lap, really taking those tighter lines, allowing his car to wash out wide with the understeer, trying to make it work as best he can, but he just can't get the power down quite as well. We can see Chipsy now so close to him, almost making a move on Rad, and J-Games within a second, and Mr. Hood within 3/10 of J-Games. Quite a battle for the lead, with Leslie building that gap to 1.5 seconds now.
Yep. I think Chipsy's very close to Rad. He might finally be able to make the move.
And not even using
happen.
overtake right now. He's got to put it. He's got to, if he's going to use it. I don't know why he's not using it right now. He's probably not thinking about it. He's so stressed.
Oh.
And Chipsy playing it safe. The F1 mod, what a stud. We can see them wheel to wheel there, and it looks like Chipsy's just going to nudge ahead there. Rad gonna have to concede the position, and he does. Hopefully no rear ending goes. Yep, we're all good. We're all good. Let's see what Mr. Hood can do here. Look at the run Hood had through Chapel. If he can keep it, just washing out a little bit too wide to get the power down as he would have wanted here. Chipsy, wow. Well, this is shaping up to be a very interesting race, as we have just reached a little over half distance.
Speaking of reaching half distance, I have a little bit of an update for you. If the rain is going to stop in the race, it will be in the last few laps. There's still at least 10 minutes of rain, probably 15.
Wow. All right. Interesting. Leslie's gap now to 2 seconds. Maybe that, Chipsy knowing that, or maybe hearing that from Jeff, is going to apply the pressure, and that's why he's making these moves where he is and not waiting. Both the Williams really with the pace advantage here. Mr. Hood almost losing the rear there, but both trying to make moves through the field to chase down that leader and win this race. Going to be a yellow flag for one of the Alfa Romeos. You know, credit to these top 6 for being this close for this long, and no one besides Hood has had a spin or an incident. Actually, never mind. Chipsy and Leslie both had one. My God. But more like a race-ending one. You know, like a proper dying to death in the wet here.
No safety car yet either. So.
That is impressive. Chipsy 2/10 off Juan, but Juan picking up 3/10 on Leslie that lap, so Leslie might have made a mistake somewhere, or Juan is actually getting pushed through the corners. Oh, look at that.
Oh.
Lose the rear end. Chipsy's going to be all over that. Going to go to the inside now, and I think Juan is just going to have to cede this position. Ooh, takes her on the outside, but Chipsy, he might lose this position to Rad now if he's not careful. He's got to cover that inside. Rad not quite there, but Mr. Hood sends it down the inside. Wow, I clicked every wrong number except for Hood. That was brilliant. Look at that, just around the outside, making the move stick. Look at Rad, really just nose to ass in Juan's area through that corner. Now, with the slipstream, Juan feels he has to defend to the inside. If Rad can break that much later, he could pull this move off, and he does. Yeah, look at him get the power down. Just going to go off track a little bit there, and Juan going to close the door. Mr. Hood almost into the back of Radical there. You could see that quickly from that rear cam, and J-Games trying down the inside. And almost gets spun there. Mr. Hood having none of that, closing the door. Juan really struggling now with Hood using his overtake in the slipstream of Rad. Might even try to make a move on Juan here. Probably going to make one through Cops if Juan gets compromised by being so close to Rad. Look at how much speed he had there. Just going to try it around the outside. That's going to be a warning if he's not careful. Probably was a warning, no less. But, J-Games out of the fight for now, and Chipsy just a little bit ahead of this. So this three-way battle here is going to... Ooh. Sorry, I thought that Juan might go into the back of Radical. This battle here really going to decide if Hood can get on that podium or if he can chase down the win. He doesn't have much time here in the slipstream of Juan. Juan defending to the inside nice and early. That's going to allow Mr. Hood to have the slipstream of Rad and get him just that much farther forward. Can he send it under the braking? He does. And Juan, wheel to wheel through here. Doesn't want to push Mr. Hood off the track. Mr. Hood able to keep it 4 on the track and get that move done through Stowe. Wow. What a bunch of battling we've got going on now with Hood. Now going to look after Radical to get that final podium position, possibly chase down his teammate and the leader, but Chipsy falling 2.5 seconds back off Leslie.
Nudgy Games is on the move for Juan as well. Juan is having a terrible last
Not a great
lap
lap
here. He's
for him,
falling
yeah.
from 2nd to 6th now.
Oh, off the track a little bit there. Didn't see the position too early, and that's going to cost him a lot more time than had he just tucked into the slipstream. Wow.
That's a yellow flag for Sadis in the wall, backwards on track. His car is still intact, though.
Oh,
Oh my
yeah,
god.
wow.
Nismore has to take evasive action there and may have picked up a warning.
Really classy driving we're seeing from Sadis today. Mr. Hood, super close to the back of Rad, so once he clears this, do you think Chipsy's going to let him past if he knows he has a lot more pace, or is Chipsy fighting this position? What do you think, Van?
Not sure. I think Hood probably is faster than Chipsy at the moment. I think if Hood never spun earlier, he would be leading the race right now. Chipsy possibly in 2nd or 3rd.
And Hood picking up 3 seconds of penalties in tandem with Rad. So that's going to be pretty tough to win this race now if it stays as close as it has been.
He still has that 5-second penalty from earlier.
Oh. No. Okay, looking to the inside here. Might send it under braking. Yeah, that was quite a speed. What am I doing? I just went to... Oh, but Rad back around the outside. I really apologize for how terribly I've been handling this battling. Mr. Hood, ooh, really close. Rad squeezing him just a little bit there, but able to keep it together. Now Hood sending it down the inside. I don't think there's any coming back from this if you're Rad. Both trying to leave the space for one another. Rad is coming back around the outside, still going wheel to wheel. Mr. Hood with the inside, you'd think he'd have to have this corner, but Rad could stick it, and Rad does stick it around the outside. Oh my goodness. These. Ooh. Okay, this has got to be it. Hood has to have it. Yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
What a battle. But that has significantly decreased the gap they had to James, who is now all over the back of Rad.
2 people are bidding. It's more in IT or ET.
It's still raining, so I think that's going to be for damage.
ET does not have damage. He's getting a new set of inters, which I guess they just want fresher tires.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if these tires would last at the end from now. I would assume so. Who knows?
No. Who know Mars? Rad getting a little bit loosey-goosey on the exit of Cops there, which has allowed James just get that little bit closer. Still not close enough to make a move, but all it takes is a few corners in the wet for you to go from nowhere to somewhere in terms of an overtake. I.e. getting a great exit through there. That has helped him, but still just going to be a little bit far off here. A bit stuck in a train, you'd have to say. Chipsy, though, slowly but surely nibbling that gap down. Another 2 to 3 tenths in the last couple laps on Leslie. Mr. Hood, though, not decreasing that gap to Chipsy as much as I would have expected. Chipsy, well, that would be why. Setting the fastest lap of the race. Some of that's going to be drying conditions, but still sets a faster lap than Hood did. Impressive stuff from Chipsy here to reel in Leslie. And when you see something like that, being the driver behind you setting the fastest lap, watching your gap go down, it is so hard to keep leading a race. You really get in your head, and you just feel kind of helpless and not sure where you have the time. You're trying everywhere, when in reality it's usually just a few corners, and you end up messing up the corners that you were doing better at. So it really is a head game, and it's not easy, especially in the wet. Games within 5 tenths of Rad, not able to make the move into turn 5 just yet, but we'll see what happens next lap around, as he is about 3 tenths closer this time than he was the last time. If he keeps that trend up, he might be in a position to make a lunge next lap.
Chipsy really getting close now. 1 second within him and Leslie.
Yeah, able to get it under a second now.
I say 2 laps until they're actually fighting, maybe even less.
Yeah, but Hood also in turn making up about 8 tenths on Chipsy that lap.
It's going to be an interesting final.
So as of now, yeah, Hood is around 1 second a lap faster than Leslie is, about 5 to 8 tenths a lap faster than Hood. I'm not sure where he's getting or losing that time. Atmosphere with another 3 second penalty. I think Hood's going to pick up the fastest lap of the race here. Yeah, he does with a 1:37 flat. That is an impressive lap in the rain here. But still, I think Chipsy, in his mind, he's just racing Leslie here. You've got 8 seconds of penalties behind you. And if you keep that track position for that changeover period, you can pit when you want to, and Hood's going to have to pit after you, and he probably won't do the same lap if they're that close together, because he'll get held in the pits and have to serve his 5-second penalty. So if you're Chipsy here, I think you're pretty confident in a win if you can get past Leslie. That's what his race is with right now. Losing a bit of time, Leslie able to balance himself out, but still not in the comfort zone. I would say 2.4 to 2.5 seconds is where you can kind of start breathing easy. Anywhere under that, you're just one corner, one lockup from really getting under pressure again.
Ooh. Brad had a little moment coming out of T6, and now James is going to use the opportunity to go side by side into Cops at C. Nope, not enough speed yet. Backs off.
Look at that double downshift. That is bold.
Wonder if he'll have the move done on the straight.
Rad there. You can see his car fishtailing a little bit. He is demanding so much from that car. Not quite able to cope with the torque demand, and now pushing down the overtake button. Is he going to be able to make the move? No. You kind of got a feel for Rad. It's one thing to know you have the pace and get past the other drivers. It's another thing to be trying to keep drivers behind, and there's always another driver behind trying to get past Rad. He has had someone in his pressure zone pretty much all race here, and it is just such a stressful thing in the wet.
Oh, up the field, look at Chipsy. He is closing that gap to free tenths, and
wow,
he might have this move done this lap, I think.
And no less stalled out Hood's advance. Maybe Hood using a lot of his overtake on the previous lap, but I don't think that ever is going to run out in the wet. Yeah, no, they're at the same ERS. And now Juan within a second of James and Rad as well. This is ever shaping up to be quite the battle. James not quite able to do anything. Quan not quite able to do anything. Right in that 6 to 7 tenths gap that they've all found themselves at one point in this race, and not quite able to make any moves. All but Leslie, that is. But now Chipsy through Maggots and Beckett's using his overtake there, nice and early through Cops, really trying to maximize the speed he can carry. And look at that. You can just see that's where you're not really turning the wheel, so carrying speed through there can be helpful. Chipsy having to... It did. Yeah. It stopped raining, and Chipsy having to hop off the throttle a little bit here. This is where I always found myself to be the fastest, was once the rain had stopped or once the rain had immediately stopped. And I think Chipsy is very similar here, as you just kind of accidentally, you know, when normally you would press the throttle too much and correct, you realize, hey, I didn't have to correct there, and you just start pushing the throttle down more and more early and earlier, braking later and later. And it looks like that has really helped him there, picking up that gap from what it was at 1.5 seconds in the last 2 laps.
Do you think we'll see any early pit stoppers, or will people just finish the race on these inters?
Oh, I think you would. If it stops raining now, I think in the last lap you'd be 10 seconds a lap faster. If it has 5 laps to dry, who knows? You know what? That's outdated information. That's how it used to be. I don't know. That's a really good question.
Like, if it's like 2 laps of dry, is it worth it? Probably not. I don't know.
It really just depends. But a fresh set of softs with no fuel, you might be able to go 5-6 seconds a lap faster. Let's see what the leaders do.
Yeah.
I think, unfortunately, if you're Leslie, you're on these tires to the end. You're not the one that gets to make this decision. It's really going to be Chipsy, and if Chipsy pits and thinks he can make his way through the field, then Quan's just a sitting, or Leslie's just a sitting duck. But I don't think if you're Leslie that you can throw away this win. I don't really think you have an option here. I think you have to stick out, especially when it can be like feel like a 50-50. If you're someone like Juan, as I was going to say, where you have that gap back to atmosphere at 22 seconds, just one car in between, I think you do take that risk. I think you pit in the next couple laps, because you're going to finish P6 or P7 anyways. Maybe try for a podium with a last lap push.
It'll be interesting to see what happens. Chipsy is losing time, though.
Yeah.
But Hood is not. Hood is...
Yeah, Hood is
still doing a good race.
But I don't think Hood has a chance of winning this race, especially if he... yeah. Hood is another one. Maybe you pit to get rid of that 5-second penalty and try to make it up on the softs. But as of now, actually, he's got the podium secured, so never mind. Never mind. Yeah, I think Juan should pit this or next lap personally, but, you know, just because of the position he's in. But if he's feeling comfortable in those inters, happy with his position, then absolutely don't throw it away. But he's just in kind of a lower risk situation.
down the field for once, we have Hot Dog and Babushka
Oh, yeah.
right next to each other. But
Little hot dog onto the grass there with that left front.
yeah. PT plays also kind of coming in just a little bit.
These gaps have really opened up somewhat randomly, I'd have to say. I don't know how Games fell 2 seconds off right. He looked like he was about to overtake him. It was interesting. It's the ever-changing conditions and who finds the confidence win, I guess.
Yeah. I really want to see someone pit because I want to see how these softs gonna.
I don't think it's
out.
ready yet. I think, yeah, it is going to be another lap or two, so it's right in the questionable zone of do the inters just completely fall apart? I don't know, man. I don't know. I would honestly say if there was like 1 lap left, it would be I think you definitely see someone pit, but I don't know if you pit here, especially Leslie. There's no way. Oh, Chipsy picks up 3 seconds of penalties. Well, looks like if Leslie can keep it on track and the strategy stays the same, he's going to win this race.
IT plays on the back of Hot Dog, but not sure if we'll see anything.
Hot Dog a little bit wide through Chapel, though. Oh. Close. Chipsy within 2 seconds of Leslie now. Quan 4/10 off your games. This is interesting. I think if anybody's gonna pit, it's gonna be at the end of this lap. No, I don't think there's any question you don't have enough time if you wait any longer.
Yeah. And oh wait, we see a pit. Sadis in P9.
And he's going onto the soft tires.
Yep. He will come out in 12.
Very possible Sadis will end up with the fastest lap of this race. Whether he gets a position or not is the question. And will DRS be enabled at the end of this lap?
And Juan is on the back of James, coming into Maggots and Beckett's. And there's what is that? That's Rad, I think. Yeah, getting that yellow flag. I wonder what happened to him.
Probably just a little spin there, but able to keep it as Juan now. I don't think he's able to make this overtake. Oh, just as the flags go green, he breezes past James and up into 5th position. So probably happy he didn't hit.
So he's on something. He spun. He spun.
Yeah.
In the turn 1.
Yeah, so it's not ready. All right. Well, I apologize then to the stream. My information was severely about 2 years outdated. So I think that has closed the pit window, and this, barring any incidents or overtakes, is going to be our finishing grid here on strategy. So now, you know, you really got to push it. But James picking up that penalty after Juan got past him has got to hurt. No chance of getting that position back without Juan crashing. And Leslie here driven a pretty faultless race. His lead has been in question, but it's never been taken away from him. So still 2 laps to go. James within 0.8 of Juan. Pop Dog pits.
That's a very questionable decision, I feel.
Yeah, that's fair.
He'll be right behind Sadis. And he is putting on the sauce. And DNF by IT. That's on track. It looks like he crashed.
Looks like he went into the wall at turn 1. Yeah, losing it under braking Ericsson style at Monza. And into the wall there. DRS is enabled.
Wow. Okay, what's
Leslie
okay,
just missed the pit. Is Hood going to go?
Yeah.
Is anyone going to go for this? Brad, the next one to come up for it.
Yep.
I don't think you do.
Yeah, it's way too short.
I hope someone does, though.
Yeah, they're all skipping it. Understandably. There just wouldn't be enough time.
Yeah.
And yeah, look at Pop Dog, he's also struggling.
Oh, is he?
Yep.
The inverse here is... Oh, yeah. The inverse here is usually when DRS gets disabled, even if it is 1 to 2 laps, you have to go. into the pits because someone on the inters can literally be 20 seconds a lap faster than you. But
Gypsy,
oh, and Hood
you
gives him
have-
another penalty.
you have DRS, right?
Yeah, he will.
So he's on the back of Leslie now. Let's see how this affects things.
I don't think he's going to be able to make a 3-second gap, though, do you?
No. I don't think either.
It's going to be close nonetheless. Gypsy with about 10% more energy than Leslie, and way more confidence in Maggots and Beckett's to boot. But you really need to nail Chaplin. This is the one that Leslie has been good at all day, and he's still good here. But Gypsy now with DRS for the first time in the race. Is he going to be able to put Leslie under pressure? He's already doing that. Is he going to be able to make a move here? If he sends it late, he might be able to, but knowing Gypsy, he's not a little bit too respectful for a move like that. That probably would have crashed out one of them.
Yeah, but he still has another lap to try to make something happen.
Almost losing it there. Maybe his tire's getting a bit overheated.
Oh, that's Hood in the... not in the wall, but
Oh.
on off track.
And I think based off his penalties, that might actually give Red or Juan the podium here.
Yeah, most likely one, I feel.
Yeah.
Gypsy still unable to make the move done. Yeah, there's one more DRS attempt to make something happen. And even if it does happen, it's unlikely that Leslie would not win.
Looks like Eric off.
Said is retiring on track at Maggots. We'll see his car up here in a second.
I'm not sure how the hell you find a wall in Maggots and Beckett's, but he has done it. Yeah, look at that.
Here we go, DRS for
Oh,
Gypsy.
almost losing it. Again, just the turbo lag a little bit there kicking in when you turn on that overtake, and not going to be able to make the move. So led every lap because I believe Atmosphere pitted that second lap before crossing the line.
Yeah.
So I think, yeah, Leslie has led every lap for a very dominant, wet victory. You can't take anything away from this man. Very excellent racing from everyone for the most part. In the top 10, we'll say. Leslie crosses the line to win Gypsy P2, but the real question is who is going to be standing on that third step of the podium? Is it going to be Rad? Is it going to be Juan? Or is it going to be J-Games? Well, it's not going to be J-Games. Sorry, I didn't realize J-Games also died. Hood picks up that 5-second penalty, and it's Juan. Wow. What a race for Juan. Able to keep his nose clean, lost a few positions, did some great racing, and is able to take home P3. Not to take anything away from Rad, Hood with 2 spins is unfortunate, and J-Games was in there for some of it, but just couldn't quite finish with his pace. The Atmosphere to cross the line now. Can he keep P8? I think he will. Badley was so far behind.
Niall picks up a point after hitting lap 1, I believe. I'll be happy about that. Babu finishing a race for once. So he'll pick up a couple. And that's it, yeah. Alpha Romero's 11th and 12th. That's the race.
That is the race here at Silverstone.
There it is.
That was actually quite an interesting race.
Yeah.
Exia is not the driver of the day. I think we got to give the driver of the day to Leslie. 0 mistakes, led every lap.
I'd agree.
And look at that, taking his position on the top step. I love you too. Very well raced, very well deserved. Very entertaining race. So, well done everybody for the very close racing. All right. Oh, God. That's not the right one. There we go. You know what? We'll do the stream intro. On behalf of everybody at Apollo Racing Club, we thank you for joining us on this Monday evening for Tier 2. Join us tomorrow for Tier 3, and then, of course, next week on Sunday for Tier 1, and this time again next week for Tier 2, unless it's a break week. I'm not going to look, but I'm pretty sure it is. Regardless, thank you, everybody, for watching. Thank you to my co-commentator, Van, and the very sexy pit lane reporter, Kia. And hopefully, next time you join us, we will be able to get that stream in picture-to-picture mode and get some double angles of some on-track battles. Thank you.